So I left the hospital around noon on Wednesday morning, and I went home and had a nap. And at about 3 o'clock, your mom phoned telling me to come right away. And I was really nervous and really scared, so I came a running. And I was so lucky all the lights were with me because I wasn't even paying attention. This was obviously, we were still getting COVID testing at the front, and I practically ran past them. They were very good about realizing I was in a rush and wanted to make sure I was there before you went. And I made it. When I got there, you were breathing heavily, but still there. And it was weird because I had just seen you, right? A couple hours ago. I'd been talking with your mom on the phone and the nurses about giving you a bath that day. And I mean, you had been snoring the night before, and I had kind of had a feeling that was it because I'd read so much about the breathing, but I got there and you were breathing really heavy, that funny kind of gurgly, rasping breathing, and yeah. And that was a lot of the next 5 hours. I would holding your hand and telling you how proud I was of you and just trying to encourage you and say how great you were doing. At one point I texted your friends saying if they had any last words for you or any last thing they wanted you to hear. And Anka and your sister and your mom were kind of not panicking exactly, but they were trying to do helpful things that maybe weren't. So I remember giving them jobs. I gave Anka a job of going through your phone and finding songs for you, and your mom got to put a cloth on your forehead, and she got those cotton swabs for you to wet your mouth with, and you were kind of biting at them and chewing on them. That worked for a bit. I noticed when you left the room, your mom left the room to wet in the washcloths, you would kind of look for her, and I was let her know that. And the thing that gave me the idea to send the texts to your friends was actually, I got a text from your friend in Maryland, Sanjita. She sent a poem, and it was so beautiful. I remember reading it to you. It was about all the things you did, like singing Britney Spears to the Bears and going to New York. And she wanted you to teach your daughter about bear scat in the woods. She talked about counting leeches, and she said she would remember you in this world if you would remember her in the next one. It was about a few hours later, you kind of calmed down, like you were seeming less frantic for a while. At one point, the nurses kicked us all out so they could change you. I remember the smell and not really wanting to leave you, and it seemed to take them forever to clean you all up. And I was pretty anxious to get back in there, but I finally did, and yeah, you were a lot calmer and cleaner. We kept talking to you, and there was some discussion about giving you a shot. We weren't sure how comfortable you were. The doctor came and was talking about that and giving you a little bit of painkiller. He said you weren't in pain, but that sometimes sounded distressing, and that they could give you morphine to help you sleep, so you would just drift off. And we weren't sure what to do, and I think a lot of us were sort of against it. We sort of said that, and then I remember noticing you I'm going to pause this. Sorry, there was some screaming upstairs. Not screaming, singing. Their upstairs neighbors are very connected to indigenous culture, so they often do that really cool singing, and it's cool. Oh gosh, where was I in this story? I don't know, baby. Right, we were trying to decide about giving you the shot, and I remember turning my attention back, and I might have even asked you, I was saying, Dorothy, I don't know what to do. You'll have to let us know if you want. And then I remember looking down, and your hand was shaking, and there was such tension in it, and your eyes were kind of teary, and you had kind of a pain look on your face. So I pointed that out to your mom and sister and said, do you think maybe we should consider giving you a shot? And we did, and they gave you the needle, and I remember letting you know about the needle because previously you'd made a pretty pain face when you got poked, but this time you didn't feel it at all. And you went to sleep, and then your breathing changed, and it sort of changed again. It was like you weren't there anymore, but your breathing was still going, and then it changed like another time, like it was even more rattlier, and the breaths were getting further and further apart. And I remember seeing you were kind of looking upwards, and would stop, and I would think that was it, and then you'd take another breath. And finally, the last one came. And then we packed our things up and cried and left you. And we were to come back the next morning to clean everything up, and then, I don't know. I'm not going to talk about the funeral and anything, because to me, I don't know. This stuff was you, darling. You know? That's the part that I miss. And that's the part that I love. That was being with you.